Hello and welcome back. After that really short episode.
Oh my gosh, we missed you. I missed you, Heather.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It's the great intelligence.
Oh, I ran out of room.
No, you didn't.
I thought I'd bring back an old joke.
You and your old jokes.
I don't know how great this intelligence is. He doesn't.
All right.
He's the okay, mediocre intelligence. I mean, he gets stuck in some like mathematical equation of the doctors.
Oh, okay. So this episode we're talking about the great intelligence. Hi. This is the 20th episode of Doctor Who Heroes and Villains. It's September 6, 2021.
Oh, that's supposed to be 7 days later. Because we filmed the last one on the 6th. This is the 20th episode. We're a week.
No,
later.
we filmed 2 of these.
We're wearing the exact same clothes as last week.
And
it's just a coincidence.
Oh yeah, they probably see the exact same drink.
Well, we just so happen to be drinking water again.
That's vodka. All right. So
same thing.
The great intelligence, and I hadn't planned this, but the great intelligence is also a villain that starts with the second Doctor and then doesn't come back till much later.
Also the 7th?
No, second Doctor.
The last one comes back.
The last one came back with the 10th Doctor.
Oh.
This one shows back up again after 2 goes with the second Doctor. With the 11th Doctor.
11th Doctor.
Yeah, so we see the great intelligence the first time with the Abominable Snowman in 1967, and then the second time with the Web of Fear in 1968. And then we don't see them again until
this was the late 60s when they started?
67, and then we see him in 68. And then we don't see him again until
2068. Do you think we'll have 100 years of Doctor Who?
Yeah, we're getting there, assuming they don't cancel it. Let's see.
And does that count if you haven't been going the whole time? Because there's like several years where they didn't have Doctor Who.
So well, that's why you have revival stuff.
If I made a television series, right? It has 1 season starting
The Snowman
50 years ago, and they got canceled after the first season. 50 years later, on the 50th anniversary of the first season, I make a second season. I could say I had a show going for 50 years.
Not really.
The 50th anniversary, 50 years.
You'd have the 50th anniversary, but it wouldn't be 50 years of the show.
But you would call it 50 years of.
I'd say you have to put out at least an episode a year, but
but that Doctor Who didn't do that.
They have some gaps. They do. They do. The Snowman, which aired in 2012, Christmas Day of 2012. So 1968 to 2012, they actually have a 40 year gap. 44-year gap.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, which is slightly more than the Macra Terror.
Wouldn't it be great if you had a television show that just had 1 episode a year?
Sounds like Sherlock.
That's what I can't keep up with is when, you have to sit down and watch the new episode every week. We have streaming services, we just
and they dump it and just binge watch and whatnot.
Yeah. But you have a show that's 1 episode per year. You don't have to worry about needing to stay up with that so much.
Yeah, but that would be a long time to try to wait between episodes.
Well, they're really long episodes.
Like I said, sounds like Sherlock.
Feature-length episodes.
Sounds like Sherlock. Okay.
Are you talking about the Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah.
They really do 1 episode a year?
There's been 4 seasons, and there's maybe a total of 12 episodes. They only do like 3 or 4 episodes a season.
Now, are they like hour-long episodes?
Hour and a half. Yeah. They're feature length. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Okay. And so.
Do you like him as Sherlock Holmes?
Do I like what?
Or do you like? Have you seen the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movies?
Yes, I like those.
Do you prefer those over Benedict Cumberbatch?
No. I think the first 2 seasons of Sherlock are much better than the Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
But I think Robert Downey Jr. is better than the latest 2 seasons of Sherlock.
I haven't seen a whole lot of the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock films.
They're pretty good.
But I'd say I definitely prefer Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes. All of his mannerisms and the way he talks. And I think he really plays the character well.
Well, I think Cumberbatch, does as well.
Okay.
Yes.
In my opinion. It's very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right, though. My opinion's the right one.
Okay. Great intelligence is a...
What is that?
Is a non-corporeal entity that occasionally will take over the body of someone. And
So if you had it in a glass, it wouldn't come out of the glass?
it's ephemeral.
Non-portable? You can't...
Non-corporeal. It's ephemeral. It's you can't see it. Ephemeral. And then we see him again in...
Isn't that a drug? Ephemeral?
Oh.
You give pregnant women?
We see the Great Intelligence twice in the old stuff, and we see him twice in the new stuff. In the in that Christmas episode, and then
the 13th Doctor. That's fair. Yeah.
And then we see him again later on with the 11th Doctor, with the name of the Doctor.
What is the Doctor's name?
We don't know.
Okay.
But he shows up in the name of the Doctor.
That's a weird thing to name the series if it never tells you what the name is.
Yeah.
Is it?
They tell you once what his name is.
But then that was really just a nickname.
Right. That was his college. Fraternity name is what it turns out.
What if the Doctor is like you had her and he keeps changing his name from Gwimblow to Theophily to Hatter to John Smith?
John Smith. All right. So the Great Intelligence is this ephemeral.
That is the drug you give pregnant women. No. Oh.
Is this
non-portable?
Non-corporeal.
There you go. That's the...
Okay. Is this ghost-like entity that doesn't inhabit a body, although occasionally he does.
He's kind of like a hive mind, though, right?
He's kind of like some vague intelligence, and he controls things with his mind. And he controls the Yeti,
much like
in the old stuff, both for his original serial, when he's trying to get the Yeti to do all their stuff and get a hold of everything that, ancient deal for the monastery and all that.
Yes.
And then in the second one, in Web of Fear, when he's trying to trap the Doctor and absorb the Doctor's intelligence into his.
Uh-huh.
And then in the new stuff...
Did the Yetis come back with the Great Intelligence?
No. The Yetis are in the old stuff. The Great Intelligence, which is the real bad guy, does come back in the new stuff. He uses snowmen in the Christmas special.
Oh,
yeah.
Not the Yetis. That would have been the perfect episode to bring back Yetis.
But the snowmen are really cool. Okay. And then...
I made some snowmen in Minecraft, and I put them in little towers, and they throw snowballs at zombies
you're talking
walking
about
out front door. I finally finished my brick pad.
And then... Wow, wait, in Time of the Dark? No, in...
Day of the Dogs?
No. Name of the Doctor. He uses some weird new bad guy, new minion to go with, he had the Yeti, then he had the Snowman, he uses some other minion.
What's the other minion?
I can't remember. It's some sort of warrior thing. Like
an ice warrior?
No, like a Black Knight kind of warrior.
Huh.
And he uses
like in Jabberwocky.
Yeah, the movie Watch Tonight. Said Doctor Who. So he uses those. So he has these minions that he controls in every single serial. And in the Christmas one, the Doctor stumbles upon him and manages to defeat him. It's not like the Yeti. It's not like the Great Intelligence slot them out. Mm-hmm. Okay, same thing for the original one.
Yeah, when he stumbles on the
monastery. Right.
Because he's visiting.
The Abominable Snowman or whatever. But yeah, so And then in the second one, in each case, the Great Intelligence seeks him out, trying to destroy him, which he did in the second part of the classic and does again in the second part of the new stuff, when it seeks him out. And the Great Intelligence literally goes into the Doctor's time stream to be broken up amongst the Doctor's time stream to foil him at every turn.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you sought out much?
What do you mean?
The Great Intelligence is seeking out the Doctor. I just wondered if you're a person that gets sought.
I doubt
Do
it.
you have an arch nemesis whose plans you foil?
No.
Who would be your arch nemesis?
My arch nemesis?
Wizards of the Coast?
Nah. No, I wouldn't call him an arch nemesis. More of a real pain in the neck.
Chibnall?
I don't have really an arch nemesis.
Moffat?
No, I would dislike Chibnall more, but I don't hate the guy.
Everyone should have an arch nemesis.
I don't know.
I'll be your arch nemesis, Hatter.
No!
I'll foil your plans.
I don't want an
foil
arch
mine.
nemesis.
We'll use cliches.
Okay. So the Great Intelligence, obviously intelligent, has these deep plans that last forever. I mean, the plans take a long ass time.
He's a stereotypical arch villain who has these grand schemes that never really come to fruition.
As most villains' schemes don't, you know.
There's a giant death ray laser that's going to destroy the moon.
Where's the kaboom? Where's my earth-shattering kaboom?
What's that?
Bugs Bunny cartoon with Marvin the Martian.
Huh?
Yeah.
He has the broom on his helmet.
Yeah. Well, it's a Roman thing. Yeah.
Why do Martians have a
Roman thing? Yeah. Who knows?
That's not the first time we've seen Martians wear.
But anyway, I like the Great Intelligence's story arc. I love how
we have a guest on the podcast. A guest star.
What?
We'll put Levi on the podcast. We have a call in from a fan. A fan.
Still have any fans? Is he even subscribed?
I don't know if he has a YouTube account. But I think he's watched an episode or two.
Okay. But anyway, so Great Intelligence has a great story arc. He ends up being thwarted by the Doctor out of nowhere. And then he tries to get back at the Doctor. And then he ends up being thwarted by the Doctor out of nowhere, and he tries to get back at the Doctor. And
holds a great grudge.
yeah, it's a great grudge. And but these, like I said, they're 44, 45 years apart, his appearances. Really interesting. And special trivia point.
Emergency.
What?
No.
Right. Special piece of trivia.
The third call means it's emergency. 2 is...
Oh, third one does mean it's emergency? Okay.
So that's number 2 there.
Special point of trivia. The guy who played the Doctor in the animated Scream of the Shakla, which is the only thing that's not canon, who also played the Doctor in a Red Nose special, a Children in Need special, is the bad guy who plays the Great Intelligence in the modern stuff, Richard E. Grant.
Form.
Yeah, the guy he helps when he takes over.
I don't know how you keep up with that stuff.
I love Doctor Who.
You ever do, you'd be great at like a trivia night for Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
You ever go to like a World of Beer, the Nerds Who Drink, and they have those trivia contests?
Not World of Beer, but we've done it at Crickets.
Cons.
And we've done it at the Lantern. And we used to do it at Fox and the Hound before they got rid of it and, basically killed it off by taking away smoking.
Oh.
I mean, the Fox and the Hound in town.
It's like a smoking bar?
It used to be basically a bar that was in a restaurant. It was like an old English pub.
Oh,
you could buy cigars, you could smoke them, you could drink. It was great. Mm-hmm. And then one day they stupidly decided to go non-smoking. I looked at the lady. I said, I said, in 9 months you'll be gone because people. The whole thing of this bar was to be an old English pub. You can't even smoke in English pubs anymore, which is sad. It was be an old English pub where we could come have a drink and a smoke and be great. I don't even smoke. But I like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And yeah, the week that they got rid of smoking, the trivia went from 20 teams to 4. And a couple weeks later, the trivia was canceled because there weren't enough teams. And 6-8 months later, they were closed. Yeah. And she looked at me and she said, well, I'm trying to have a baby, and this was the only job I could get. And, I'm glad they went to non-smoking. I said, yeah, but you're not going to have a job. I said, if the only job I can get is at a pet store, and, she said she was allergic to cigarette smoke. I'm like, if the only job I can get is at a pet store, I'm allergic to cats and dogs. Does that mean the pet store has to get rid of the cats and dogs? No, that's ridiculous. That's what you're going to make your money on, are cats and dogs. But it's just, no, you get another job if you don't like the smoke and you want to get pregnant,
Agreed.
Yeah. But they went out of business. Now, Table 82 is where Fox and the Hound used to be. And they're really good. Lisa and I went there yesterday for our anniversary.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We, I like it for several reasons. One is they have some really good food. 2 is they know how to make a rum flip, which I like. And 3 is they've got 2 Pokestops.
Oh, there you go.
They have a stop and a gym. If you sit at the bar, or the main room, you're in range of both of them.
Nice.
If you go out to the patio, you miss this one, the gym, and if you head this direction, you miss the one out there.
Gotcha. Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So when you do the Nerds Who Drink trivia contest, you ever do a Doctor Who one, or what
I don't
subjects
know.
do they put? Oh, you don't?
Yeah, I've done the Nerds Who Drink. That's the one at Alamo, right?
I think they do it multiple places.
Listen, I've done that one a couple of times. But
what were the subjects that you got quizzed on?
Well, they usually do some standard ones like geography and stuff like that.
I thought it was normally themed. I did The Office one, where there's questions about the show The Office. That was a lot of fun.
Dude, I would kick ass at a Doctor Who one.
Yeah, you.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the Great Intelligence?
The OK Intelligence?
The Great Intelligence is the name of the guy or the villain or whatever.
So this 4th time gets spoiled. Do you think we'll see him again after that?
I don't know.
Maybe in another 20 years?
Moffat, one thing about Moffat that was good is that he was good at bringing back old villains.
That's just such a crowd pleaser, That's something a long time fans always want to see.
But he does it with Zygons, and he does it with the Great Intelligence, and it's nice to see something back from the 40 years ago. So you have a return.
Great cast of characters, especially when there's like a modern reimagining.
Well,
it's like watching Batman, and then you see, the new Joker comes out. That's cool, and the new, so on and so.
But anyway, so Doctor Who has a very large gallery of villains. I mean, the rogues gallery, as they call it. It's very large, and we've only listed some of the biggest ones thus far, but there are a lot of them.
A lot of episodes. And a lot of episodes have unique villains or serials. Like recurring villains are like maybe 10% of the time. Some seasons may be 20%.
No, I would say recurring villains are about 50 to 60% of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Not recently though, right? Like with
Pertwee had a whole season of The Master.
Yeah.
The entire season. The first time he shows up, he's not recurring, but then every single serial after that, he's a recurring villain.
But that season, sure. But his last season, those were pretty much all unique villains, right?
Peloton was
the one, yeah. But that's one out of the whole season. That's
all right. The last one was definitely new.
And then this new season we have with Baker, those are all unique villains so far, right?
Hold on. The robot was unique. The Ark in Space unique. The Sontaran Experiment, that's a reoccur.
We haven't seen that one yet.
Genesis of the Daleks is reoccurring.
We haven't seen that one.
No, and oh my god, I always forget the final one of that. Revenge of the Cybermen, not reoccurring. So you have two new ones and then 3 reoccurring villains. Centaurs, Daleks.
Well, you can see how I got the wrong impression from the first 2 seasons.
Like I said, about 60% of the time it's recurring villains. And then we'll finally get the Zygons. That'll be cool. Season 13, first serial is Terror of the Zygons.
Zygon.
Yeah.
That sounds like a familiar term. Zygon is a...
We were just talking about that earlier as a
The
recurring villain.
Or what's the meaning of the word Zygon? Is that like...
It's their race.
But is that inspired by something?
You're thinking like zygote?
Maybe. Zygot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, do you have any questions about the Great Intelligence?
Any more questions?
Yeah.
No. What is your favorite episode of your favorite serial of the 4 serials that the Great Intelligence is in? What's this last then with it we saw? I really liked his second appearance, probably more than his first.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. Web of Fear. The one where you get the Brigadier for the first time and they're all down in the tunnels.
That's the charges.
Yeah, that's better than the Abominable Snowman. And it's better than the 2 modern appearances of the Great Intelligence.
Okay.
It's just a really good serial. I think it won our serial for that year.
I don't think it did, but it should have. The Web of Fear? Oh, it might have, actually. I think you're right.
Have you checked the first 3 seasons?
Oh no, this is still only starts at season 4. I gotta go back and look.
Wait. So what won that season?
Season 4 was The Power of the Daleks. Was that... What season was the Web
I think
of Fear?
5.
Enemy of the World.
Oh god, yeah, Enemy of the World's fantastic. Okay.
So Web of Fear is probably like second place.
Probably, yeah.
I really liked Web of Fear. Enemy of the World was good.
Alright, so right now, I think we mentioned this in the main show. Since Whitaker's leaving, they are...
showrunner.
Yeah, Chibnall's leaving. I think he may have gotten kind of booted out the door. They're currently looking for a new doctor and a new showrunner. And
you're talking about currently.
Yeah, they're currently looking for a new doctor and a new showrunner. Lots of rumors about both. I really, really hope they take the what's his name? The Babylon 5 guy. He's an American. He'd be the first American to run the show. But he's got a lot of... He said, I would love to run the show. And he's got a lot of chops in
really
sci-fi. His sci-fi is really good. He knows how to make a story arc, okay? And they're looking, we don't know exactly who they're going to pick for either one. Also,
as long as they're not some like super preachy, I gotta
woke crap, right?
This, like,
I think this guy will
issues.
hopefully take out the woke crap, which will maybe return the show to its former glory, especially if he does a good job. Yeah, because
good story.
Chibnall, especially, and Moffat to a lesser extent, were all about the woke all day, every day. And in many cases, especially under Chibnall, but also a bit under Moffat, it undermined the quality of the show. It just didn't work as well.
And the characters and just the writing is...
Yeah, the writing is...
It makes for like a cheap story when you're trying to take, current politics and global issues and social problems and put them in a sci-fi show where you're trying to escape and enjoy something that's you don't see every day.
Right, and it's okay if in the future things are different, Like there's an episode in the modern stuff where a guy is giving birth. Apparently in his species the men give birth or whatever.
Like seahorses.
Like seahorses. I mean, incredibly rare, but it's like, okay, whatever, we know what you're trying to give. But it's even worse when you try and take modern values and move it to the past.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're trying to conform modern values on people of the past when the values were different.
We see the companions struggle with that a lot.
Yes,
we get companions from the women's movement showing up in like medieval times.
Yeah, Sarah Jane did that. Joe did it to a lesser extent with the Princess and Peladon. But that was subtle. By the time you get to Sarah Jane It wasn't subtle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's when you're trying to take modern stuff and move it to a past where, there was no way in the world that was going to happen. That's where I have problems with,
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the modern stuff, and if it's done well, I can overlook problems. If a movie or a TV show is done really well, and it's really good,
Mm-hmm.
I can overlook, things about it that would otherwise make me cringe. But the problem is for a while now, Doctor Who has not been done well. And so the shortcomings are just that much more glaring.
Mm-hmm.
It's...
People nowadays, they spend a lot of time complaining about the shortcomings of people in the past without at all acknowledging that the world was
the
a
context.
different place. They're
Yes.
like, this historical figure is a terrible person, even though he did all these great things.
Because he owns
I'm
slaves or whatever.
I'm gonna judge him by today's standards, and then
Yeah.
you're trying to just
It's...
wash history.
Yeah, it's like President Washington owned slaves. He still founded the freest country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He still set up a scenario where we could get rid of slavery and perfect the country, and he still handed over power peacefully after only 2 terms, setting the precedent. He was a great man. Should we say, in the context of his day, the slavery thing was okay? Is it okay now? No. Is slavery okay realistically? No. But that shouldn't wipe out all the good that he did. And that's the problem with a lot of people, is they want that one thing to wipe out all the good that he did.
The problem is, you can, with every single cool historical character that did awesome things, none of them are going to live up to the standards set by a progressed modern society.
Right.
So you can ruin any character, like in the past, any historical character, and say that they're a terrible person by today's standards. It's like, well, society didn't work that way.
Nobody's perfect. Yeah, and should you let one thing that happened or that they did wipe out all the good they did? Once again, Mother Teresa, for example, dedicated her life to helping the poor and the sick in India. And she lived a long time, she did all these great things. If you were to find out that when she was 15, that she raped a boy or did something weird, right? And she spent the rest of her life in penance for it. Would that one thing she did negate 80 years of good stuff?
You're going to ruin Mother Teresa.
No, but that's the point. The point is you shouldn't let one bad act destroy all the good that somebody does. People are complicated. They're not just one thing. And you can do a crap ton of good that shouldn't be wiped away by one bad act.
Heather, you just said, what if Mother Teresa diddled kids?
No, let's say she raped her when she was 15,
That's such a...
But, I don't know. I know it's a crazy scenario, but the point is that one bad act should not wipe away an entire lifetime of good, and you can't judge people by the morality of a different era,
Do we ever see a recurring villain in Doctor Who become not a villain? Kind of like we saw with the Ice Warriors, they're bad, and then we visit them later in time, they're good, and then they're bad again, but the bad is just like a subsect of the...
Yeah, you don't know if it's the past or the future.
Yeah. But do we ever have a redemption arc with a character, say like the Master or something, where kind of more of an anti-hero than they were?
Okay. We see a bit of a redemption arc with the Master, actually.
Oh, okay.
When the Master becomes Missy.
Good example, Holden.
Yeah.
Good example.
when the Master becomes Missy.
I mean, we even saw the Master by Delgado.
Yeah.
Work with the Doctor, they teamed up.
Well, when he knew he was going to die, he works together. And you see in Delgado a bit of the time a redemption, but mostly you get a bit more of a redemption arc with Missy, the female version of the Master, and we don't know at this point if that redemption is...
Was that the 12th Doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't know if that redemption is still holding or not, still waiting on the Timeless Children stuff. And you also see a bit of a redemption with the Zygons.
Okay.
Yeah. The Zygons have a good bit of redemption in the modern stuff.
Don't we have a Zygon as a companion at one point? Or is that a Silurian? The elevator game.
Okay,
So-
the Paternoster gang,
is that-
Sontaran.
K9 and Company, or is that Doctor Who?
No, it's Doctor Who.
Okay.
But that's a Sontaran, and he...
Oh, the potato head.
Yeah, the potato head guy.
But there's also a Silurian, or a Zygon.
Yes, there is a Silurian who also works with the Doctor. And you see actually a bit of redemption, not for the Centaurans, but for the Silurians later on.
They had a lot of deaths in their
Yes, but you do see a bit of redemption for them. There's one faction of them, the warrior faction, that wants to fight, but there's another faction that does make peace with
like
humans.
That's a recurring theme in Doctor Who. There's always the people that want to fight and the people that want to find a peaceful
solution. Yeah.
That's a recurring conflict in serials, like with the Wasp people, or during the Peloton.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so we don't know when the new series is going to start. They're talking possibly beginning with Halloween.
That'd be
right
cool.
about there.
That'd be a cool special. If it's like a spooky.
Right, and then going for like 6 weeks, because it's going to be six episodes. A New Year's Day special, probably an Easter special, and then the one in the fall for the 100th anniversary of the BBC. And then that'll be it for Chibnall and Whittaker. So I don't think they're going to announce the new showrunner or the new Doctor, at least until after the series is over. Maybe not the specials, but probably the series.
Okay.
And it may be after the specials, but that'd be a long time to keep it secret.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So
what if they announced someone just totally lame?
They already did, Whittaker.
What if they're like
somebody new? Okay.
What if they come out and they're like, the new Doctor is Daniel Radcliffe?
I don't think that'd be the worst thing in the world, actually.
Actually, I kind of like the idea.
Yeah, I like that idea. No, the fan favorite and the one that I'm hoping for is I mentioned this last time. The guy from Good Omens who played opposite of David Tennant. I can't think of his name.
Oh yeah, I remember who you're talking about.
Yeah. The short guy who was.
I thought we were gonna talk about Idris Elba again.
Oh, I like Idris Elba, but
he's getting kind of old though.
Yeah, it's the same reason he can't play Bond. He's gotten past some of the physical stuff.
I mean, Hartnell was old. What if we had an old Doctor again? That'd be fine. Doctor's been old.
It could. Hartnell was particularly old. Chibnall was the same. Not Chibnall. Capaldi was the same age as Hartnell when he became the Doctor. He's not up there. But he's a much younger version of that age, 54.
What medical technology does for people.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. I mean, and even Pertwee was a bit older, but he was still incredibly physical, and it'd be possible for Idris Elba. Although I wouldn't mind and the guy I'm thinking of is up there in his early 50s, but of course much younger than Hartnell. But they need a draw. They need a big draw. He needs to either be young and good looking like Tennant and Smith, or he needs to be older and dashing, or
gentleman.
A big name, which is Martin Sheen. That's him. Martin Sheen. Yeah,
as the Doctor.
Yeah, that's the guy from The Good Omens that was opposite of Tennant.
Charlie Sheen's dead.
No.
Oh.
No. The British guy. No, you made that joke last time.
Are there two Martin Sheens? Isn't Charlie Sheen's dead?
Look up Good Omens. You got your phone. Look up Good Omens. I think it's Martin Sheen. Charlie Sheen's dead. No, but anyway about that. All right, but I think.
Okay, Omens. All right, Omens.
Good Omens.
Good Omens, guy.
Why do you think everything's only okay? But I think the shorter guy is Martin Sheen.
David Tennant.
And?
John Hamm.
And?
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen. Sorry, Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen is the one. So Michael Sheen I think it would be perfect for the Doctor. He would be amazing. He's who the fans want. He's a big name. He can help save the show, and he is probably the most popular / safest bet for the BBC.
Okay, I could see him as the Doctor.
Yeah. We'll see if they continue to try to go with their woke experiment and keep a lady, or we'll see if they switch it back to a man, a popular guy especially. I think the woman could have worked if they'd gone with a really big name, like Dame Helen Mirren, a good actress with good stories, but none of that was the case. Whittaker, sorry to say you're out of your depth when it comes to Doctor Who.
There's strong female
and Capaldi, you're out of your depth when it comes to the showrunner.
Mary Sue's, and they try to act like they have the same appeal, but
they don't.
Right. Like
Brie Larson or whatever.
Daisy Ridley.
Don't care for her.
And Brie Larson as Captain America, that's just kind of or Captain Marvel's kind of a flawed character to begin with, because it's like the whole Superman complex where you have the invincible, all-powerful character. It's really hard to write.
Right, but she didn't even have kryptonium or anything.
She doesn't have a weakness.
Yeah, she didn't have a weakness. And she didn't have a character arc. Hi, I'm amazing. I'm going to keep being amazing. And I'm still amazing.
It started off being a hard character to write for, and then they just didn't pull it off at all.
Yeah. Her whole thing was, I'm a woman. Look at me, I'm a woman. I don't have to have a personality. I don't have to have a story arc. I don't have to have character development. My whole plot line is I'm a woman. And it's lazy writing is what it boils down to. Women should have character development. Women should have plot arcs. Everything else was like men, but they don't want women to ever be wrong. So if they can't be wrong in the beginning, then they can't grow or develop. They're just amazing as they start out, which is the same problem with the Star Wars lady.
It's what happens when you have the marketing team write your characters in your story. You have marketing in charge of everything because they're the ones that make money until you run out of a good product, and then
they've destroyed it. Yeah, they've destroyed the internet intellectual property, the IP.
Marketing's doing the casting and the writing.
We'll see what happens. It's kind of a weird, exciting time because.
Do you think communists would write better movies? Because capitalism is the problem with marketing taking over all the choices for the company.
Okay, communism does nothing better than capitalism except plunge people into poverty and kill them. No. The communists make a few good movies. War and Peace, in particular, the 1967-68. Yeah, it was broken into 4 movies because there were 4 parts of the book. It was the first sequential movies to finish a book.
That's like 8 hours?
Yes, it's 7.5 hours. And they did make a few other really good films, like Battleship Potemkin and stuff like that. 1919, I think, 1920. But overall, the best movies are made by capitalists. The problem is it's not the capitalism. It's just everything's gotten so woke. It's destroyed everything, and Disney's losing a crap ton of money as a result. And hopefully they'll change their ways eventually, or someone else will move up and take their spot. But anyway,
so about capitalism.
It's a good time right now in Doctor Who in terms not a good time, an exciting time. Because we're going to have a new showrunner, we're going to have a new Doctor, we just don't know yet.
Edge of our seats.
Right. We don't know about the Timeless Child thing yet, if it's going to be canon or not. We're still waiting to see.
What if he has a sibling?
The Doctor?
The Timeless Children. Oh, there's a whole family of timeless beings.
We don't know. Cool. And the new series is going to start very soon. Okay. And they're still animating and finding stories and completing the Blu-rays. So it's just kind of exciting in a slightly dreadful way, but in a slightly hopeful way too.
Yeah. That's cool. Got all sorts of butterflies. Is there any talk about them maybe casting someone that you wouldn't want to play the role? Like, is there someone you're hoping they don't cast that is a possibility that they might get cast?
Well, okay.
Or like showrunners that you don't want?
anyone. I almost don't want anyone from within the BBC at this point. I really want that Babylon 5 guy. The BBC has become so incestuous and so woke driven that I really hope they get the Babylon 5 guy with the new blood and put him in charge. It's just...
I think the BBC is inbred in at this point.
Well, they always pick somebody from in-house, pretty much. And it's like a university that only picks people who went there to teach there. You never get any fresh ideas, you never get any fresh perspectives, you never get any fresh outlooks, or it's all the same thing over and over again, and eventually it just becomes a giant echo chamber of problems.
Diversity of thought.
Yeah, it's all conformity, which is very much big on the left right now. I don't know. We'll see. I might be pleasantly surprised they pick the Babylon 5 guy, and I might be greatly disappointed if they pick somebody from in-house,
Michael Sheen.
I would love Michael Sheen for the Doctor. I would love him. I would love Idris Elba. Although once again he's
Daniel
getting on
Radcliffe apparently.
Radcliffe wouldn't be bad. He would be a fresh take on it, but
be a definitely different character. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, who is the ginger kid from Harry Potter?
Ron Weasley.
Yeah,
I don't know his name.
So every time the Doctor regenerates these days, he goes, still not a ginger. And it'd be so
if they had an Irish.
It'd be so funny to get Weasley as a Doctor just to be a ginger,
Yeah.
I just don't know if he
like that.
Looks mature enough yet, or if he could pull off the part.
I think there's a picture of him where he grew a beard and he looks a lot older.
Okay, after David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, they wanted to go with somebody older, like Pertwee. No, 10th Doctor, Tennant, the tire right there. Yeah, they wanted to go with somebody a little older, but Matt Smith, the guy with the sonic screwdriver, absolutely killed the audition and was just an old person in a young person's body.
He really brought the sonic screwdriver to a whole new popularity with my generation. After Matt Smith, everyone was running around with
screwdriver, yeah. But
sonic screwdriver.
He absolutely killed the audition, and they picked him because of that. So and Whitaker was problematic because one of the reasons was they didn't really have an audition per se. The guy just chose her, Chibnall, because he had worked with her previously.
Isn't that a band? Choser? Hauser?
Weezer. I can't believe I know that.
They have a Van Weezer album. It's Weezer in the style of Van Halen.
Well, they did do Africa by Toto. They did a remake of that. Anyway, but I really just hope they pick the best man for the job, and I want the Doctor to return to a man. We need heroes as much as you ladies, and all of our men are being replaced by women. All of them. It's just nuts. Anyway, any more questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Sorry to get so off topic. This was about the Great
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Yeah. Much longer than the last one. Okay. We will see you next week where we'll hopefully be watching Santaran Experiment.
Don't we have to vote on another thing?
No, we're caught up.
We're all caught up.
We
Santarans. 2 episodes, or we can watch
2 episodes, and we'll probably watch K9 and Company.
There you go.
With it, just as just to have our first filler off to the side since the movies. All right, see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Yay! On this, the least watched show on the internet.
We might see you next. Yeah. If I don't find you first.